In July of 1971, I received a letter from the Chicago Public Schools assigning me to teach at Wendell Phillips High School. I would later find out that Wendell Phillips was the oldest and largest all-Black high school in the city at the time, with a 40% graduation rate. Anyway, the next day, Cheryl and I, my daughter, who just turned 4, got on public transportation to find out how long it would take me to get to my new school. As a single parent, I couldn't afford a car. So we got on public transportation and got off at 39th Street and walked down the street to the corner where I stopped. Cheryl looked at me and said, "Mommy, what's the matter?" I said, "That's either a bombed out factory or my new school." I'd been teaching in Chicago for almost a year, substituting at Northside schools, substituting in predominantly white schools. Here in front of me was a very large brick building with every window on the first floor boarded up. First day of school, when only the teachers report, not the students, I asked the head of the department, an older Black woman who had been there for years, whether she had any advice. Coming from a small town in Wisconsin, I didn't know what I was doing. She said, "Whatever you do, don't touch the children. Our children do not like to be touched." So I went around for the first month, practically with my hands behind my back so I wouldn't touch anybody. Things were not going well. I was not reaching anybody, nobody, it was terrible. I was ready to quit. But at the end of the month came my birthday, and I got roaring drunk on my birthday weekend and decided if I'm going to be driven out of teaching, I'm going up my way. So Monday morning, the first student who raised his hand to ask a question, I ran over and I took his hand in my hand and showed him how to work the problem, and proceeded that way for the rest of the week. And by the end of the week, my worst classes had become my best classes. And I was on my way to becoming a member of the Phillips family. Now, it had nothing to do with touching or not touching the children. Being formal was the way Gwendolyn Palmer taught. That was her style, but it wasn't my style. And the kids could tell that I wasn't being real with them, and they weren't about to put up with any of it. Well, the Phillips family helped me raise my daughter. I was there 9 years. These are some of the closest friends I've ever had, and I'm still in touch with many of them. We went over and above to do whatever we could to make learning enjoyable, possible, and it was the most rewarding time of my life. Thank you.